I'm Scott Allen Miller. This is my life living in Latin America. I'm still here in New York, and I'm recording indoors today because it is so cold and I didn't have a chance to get out while there was sunlight. So we're doing something a little bit different today, but we're going to be talking about the new requirements for North Americans, U.S. citizens and Canadians when traveling to Europe, including the UK. Some new things came into effect in January. These are really major if you're going to be traveling and things you need to be aware of. So if you are from North America and thinking about looking abroad, there's so many people thinking about traveling, relocation, all that right now. It's a big topic now in January 2025. And if you're going to be heading over to Europe in any way whatsoever or passing through Europe, then these are requirements that you need to be aware of. So we're going to get to that right after the bottom. Importantly, coming into effect in both the UK, the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales, and in the Schengen zone of the Eurozone. So that's everything from Portugal and Spain all the way to Romania. And this is worth noting, Romania joined the Schengen region in early 2024. So a lot of you have been traditionally looking at Romania as a place where you can do a border run from the Schengen zone. You cannot do that anymore. They are in the Schengen. Bulgaria is not in yet, but will be soon. So just things to be aware of. But the Schengen zone, which is most of Europe, and the United Kingdom, which is most of the remaining portions of Europe, have both changed some new rules in regards to the United States and Canadian citizens coming to Europe starting on January 1st, just a couple days ago in 2025. And what this is they are matching the pre-check visa requirements that the United States has put in place for those citizens coming to the United States. Now, they're doing this for both US and Canada. So this is important to understand because Canada is actually under the monarchy of England, yet they still need this visa to be able to travel to the home country of their monarch, which is very, very confusing and something that they just need to be quite aware of. So what we have is now both regions are calling this a non-visa. They're trying to pretend that this is not a visa. They want to make it sound like it's just a little bit of online check-in. However, this is a more strenuous process than a on-arrival visa. So when we're talking about requirements of traveling around the world, we often talk about places that require a visa, don't require a visa. Places that don't require a visa, we generally say it's an automatic visa. Places like Nicaragua, most of Latin America gives North Americans an automatic visa when they're traveling to those countries, meaning you just show up, there's no paperwork, they just let you in. Some places like Bolivia have a full visa, but it's on arrival. You show up, you don't do anything ahead of time. You go through a process and they slap a full page sticker in your passport. That's a physical visa, but it's on arrival. Not a big deal. Just takes a few minutes. You don't have to plan ahead. If you're going to the US from Europe, or if you're going to pretty much anywhere in Europe from North America, you now require what England is calling an ETA and Europe is calling something similar, and the US is calling something similar. They all have these very similar names, but they're basically an electronic travel announcement or application. They're pre-approval programs. Now, they're not very hard. They're not very expensive. In Europe, I believe it's like €8, so around about $10. And in the UK, it's a little bit more. And of course, they fluctuate because they're in local currency. But it's all less than $20 US under normal circumstances. So we're not talking about a lot of money. But importantly, you need to do this at least 3 days ahead of time before you travel. And you have to get that approval. If that approval doesn't come through, you can't travel. And this can include just visiting, just passing through, really simple things that you've never needed paperwork for before. You now don't just need a visa on arrival, you need a pre-approved visa that they don't call a visa. So they don't call it a visa because they have agreements that they won't put visas into place with each other. And so they're all doing this and all pretending that they are not requiring a visa by all agreeing not to call it a visa. However, it is a digital visa and it is a step harder than a visa on arrival. So this is actually a pretty big deal and totally changes the game with people traveling between these regions because they've always been very, very open, very, very friendly. And we've always said, you can just, at any moment, as long as you have a passport, just hop a plane, go to Europe, hop a plane, go to England. You don't have to think about it. It's easy. That is no longer the case. You now have to have this application at least 3 days ahead of time. You have to have them approve it and get it back to you. And then that does not mean you're getting into the country. It just means that step is done. They won't consider you. They won't even let you on the plane if you don't have that. When you get to those countries, you still have to go through full border control and prove that you're able to get in. So any requirements that you may need that they state for you are still required above that. Just having that pre-approval doesn't mean anything's been checked. It just means that they're going to allow you to apply to enter the country. You'll probably get in. It's not a problem. They're not trying to keep people out. It's nothing like that. This is a tit for tat move against the U.S. because the U.S. has made it so difficult for Europeans to travel to the U.S., violating the treaty that they have by claiming it's not a visa. So they're doing exactly the same thing in reverse as would be expected. So this is not a surprise to anybody, but if you have not traveled previously or you're not keeping track of this, it will catch you off guard. So I just wanted to let you guys know because this is our big travel month. So many people are looking at this and many people are going to be traveling for the first time. And this is something that you would not know to be looking for if it's not something you've been researching. So always pay attention to the latest news of whatever place you're going to be traveling to. And if you need to travel at the last second and you don't have time to get any of that, consider Latin America, where it's still easy to get in almost everywhere with no warning, no planning. Just hop a plane and go. Thanks for joining me. Like and subscribe. If you'd like to help support the channel, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Scott Allen Miller. You can also join our community. And as always, we appreciate if you get down and leave comments, say hello, ask a question, send in a video question. All the instructions, including how to contact me and how to send in a video question, are all down in the show notes. And as always, I will see all of you tomorrow.